Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 8 common mistakes gardeners make when growing potatoes. Mistake number 1, assuming that all varieties are the same. Mistake number 2, planting inorganic store-bought potatoes. We're going to skip over 3 and we're going to get back to that one later. Mistake number 4, inadequate soil preparation. Mistake number 5, planting too early. Mistake number 6, I'm guilty of this one this year, inadequate hilling. Mistake number 7, improper watering. And the last one, mistake number 8, a mistimed harvest. There are 3 main varieties of potatoes that you can grow in your garden, and they are early, mid, and late varieties. Early varieties grow very quickly, and they're usually smaller, and you can plant them really early because they mature quickly. Mid-season potatoes are very versatile. You can plant them early or late, or basically you can plant them and harvest them more so when you'd like. The third variety, late season potatoes, usually grow the largest, they require the most time, and they have the thickest skin, making them perfect for storing. Inorganic store-bought potatoes are often coated with a sprout inhibitor, which makes them less likely to sprout, as the name suggests, and more prone to rotting in the ground. I made this mistake this year. Well, it wasn't really a mistake, more so I was just experimenting, and my results were as poor as you'd expect. They really didn't grow anything, and I didn't get growth until by the time I was starting to harvest the seed potatoes that I had bought. Friends, just wanted to quickly interrupt to ask for your support. If you've found any value in this video so far, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. Do you see these beautiful pepper plants? I'm going to be making another video very soon talking about how to grow healthy, beautiful pepper plants. Don't miss out that video. Subscribe, and let's get back to it. Number 3, chitting your potatoes in darkness. Now, this is going to result in weak, spindly sprouts that break easily, and they're not going to help you with your growing. The best option here is to place your potatoes in an open, uncovered box by a window about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks before you intend to plant them, which is about 3 weeks before your first frost. If you don't really care about getting the most out of the year, that's okay. Take them out and start chitting them before you're ready to harvest. A couple of weeks, it can be the beginning of summer, it's okay. Not the beginning of summer, usually beginning of the spring, after last frost is gone. Okay, number 4, we're at 4 already, and that is poor soil preparation. You can ignore all of this if you simply dump about 4 inches of compost onto the bed that you plan on planting, and planting directly in there. That should solve all your issues. If you have horrendous or contaminated soil, that's a whole nother issue. If it's super gravelly, that might not work so well, but nonetheless, if you plant 4 inches of compost, lay that down first, you should have no problem. Okay, number 5, and that is planting too early. Now, if you plant too early, you risk either your potatoes rotting in the ground or the tops dying in frost. The leaves and the stems are frost sensitive. You can cover them with a blanket in early spring if you expect morning frost. You can use fleece to cover them. This is made specifically for frost protection. You can find it on Amazon. And the last option is you can cover and mound your small baby potato plants with a heaping pile of compost. Now, that's okay to completely cover the plants. They'll do just fine, and within no time, a day or 2, they'll already be growing out of the hill, and later on, your plants will already be hilled. Okay, hilling, that brings us to number 6, and that is inadequate hilling. I made that mistake this year. Just neglected it. I assumed the plants were really healthy, strong, vigorous leaves, luscious even. I'm like, wow, these plants are so healthy. I couldn't believe it. It didn't even occur to me to check on them. And what happens when you don't hill them correctly is that the potatoes, they form really close to the surface, especially if you don't bury them too deeply. Don't bury them too deeply. It's going to give you problems later. Hill them. That's much easier. What happens, they start to grow near the surface and they pop out of the soil. And when they do that, they get exposed to sunlight, they turn green, they produce a toxin, and now that green part of the potato is no longer edible, so you lose a little bit of harvest. All right, the penultimate mistake is inadequate or improper watering. Now, as your potatoes are growing, you don't need to water them very much. A standard year of typical rain is good enough. Now, if you're in a drought, obviously you're going to need to water them. If you get way too much water, you should still be okay, as long as your soil is average and it drains decently. Now, you don't really need to water really regularly until the potatoes are close to harvest, which is around the time they begin to flower in late spring or even late early summer. It depends on the variety that you've chosen. Oh, one more thing. In order to check if the soil is moist, I usually just scrape away about 1.5 to 2 inches of topsoil. That usually is dry, and then scrape up underneath that. If the soil is malleable, like clay or almost kind of like wet sand, if it sticks together and holds well, it's moist enough. It doesn't need to be watered. If it's dry, and you'll notice it's noticeably dry, just like the top layer of soil, 2 inches below, you'll need to water. Number 8, the last one on this list, is a mistimed harvest. Now, the best time to harvest potatoes are when the leaves go from a really lush, beautiful, healthy green color to a pale lime colored green, or even you'll start to see some of the leaves turn completely yellow, even like crusty, brittle, and brown. But not all of the plant that color. You don't want to wait for it to go completely dead and die back to a sad, decrepit thing. That's too late. As soon as you start to see a little bit of yellow, a lackluster color, that's the perfect time to harvest and enjoy your potatoes. You worked hard for them. They've just got a different flavor to them. It's not like store-bought potatoes. These are they're already creamy even before you add a bunch of butter and cream to your mashed potatoes. I hope you liked this video. Give it a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Ring that bell so that you don't miss more videos just like this, and I will catch you in the next one.